Hello YouTube and welcome to Shayna-Mae OG Trans Gal. My name is Shane and I'm a recovering transsexual. For nearly 20 years I was on cross hormone therapy, and for about 2 months I've been off of estrogen, and for about 5 months I've been off of the testosterone blocker, and I'm proud and happy to say that God has saved me and I'm returning to my natural body chemistry, my natural hormone levels. I'm feeling grounded, I'm feeling present. I'm coming to you from my shop today. It's time I step out of the office and introduce you more to the man I am and the man I'm returning to be and exist as again. A lot of things are changing in my life. Detransitioning and also shutting down my business of 25 years and leaving the industry of film and television after 30 years. You see, during the pandemic, we sold our house here in Southern California because of the political environment and their draconian lockdowns. Those lockdowns nearly devastated our company, and now that there's a writer's strike and an actor's strike, it's the final nail in the proverbial coffin. It's time for us to call it quits and get out of California altogether. And I feel that it's a real blessing that God brought me to the reality that He created me as a man, as a young boy who went through a journey, and now I'm returned to my male self, and it's just in time. You see, I moved up to the Pacific Northwest because of their conservative Christian values, and it would have been really strange trying to assimilate and adjust my life up there as a transsexual. So this detransition couldn't have come at a better time. Now this business, on the other hand, is also my future. It won't be in film and television, and it definitely won't be with a facility of this size. This place is done. But as I'm walking around showing you the place, I want to say that I didn't build this on my own. It was always a blessing, and one of those blessings were the men and the women that made up this company. They were the true backbone of this business. I was blessed with talent and drive, but I was also blessed with meeting some wonderfully creative, talented, and driven people along the way. So more than the sting of my pride losing the business, the thing that really hurts is I'm saying goodbye to my family, my work family. You see, in Hollywood, at least the Hollywood that used to be, it was all about being good at what you did and enjoying being part of a really creative industry. But in the last 10 years, Hollywood's gone ultra woke. And in going ultra woke, they've also gone very corporate. They're not making good films anymore. They're relying a lot on digital technology, which is great, but they're getting further and further away from the craft and the skill of Hollywood. Even right now, the actors and the writers are freaking out because finally their jobs are being jeopardized by AI. For us in the fabrication, design, and build world, our jobs have been going away little by little because of CGI. Now, all that really meant for us custom prop makers is that we had to adapt and adjust and find other industries to practice our craft. And that's how I got into live event, concert tours, hospitality themed environments. So having those tangible skills in a shop that could build just about anything one could imagine, it was a great opportunity to continue making a living. But doing business in California these days is too difficult and too expensive, and it's just time. It's time to move out of California and move beyond Hollywood and get back to my true craft of being an artist and a fabricator, and it's truly what I love. And now that I'm back working a little bit more out in the shop, after nearly 10 years of not working out here because I was trying to become a woman, and then, I'll talk more about that. It wasn't all bad. I think really the benefit of trying to live like a woman will be the story I'm able to tell moving forward, looking back at it. Talking about the fantasy of it all, the reality of what is today and the delusion of what was yesterday in the last nearly 20 years of my life. Well, look at this place. So many movie projects we worked on here. Over 310 film projects we were involved in. Over 400 TV shows and game shows, about 40 concerts, and dozens of art pieces built for restaurants, hotels, and theme parks. It's been a great career. But part of the reason I'm also here showing you all this is because I'm thinking about doing another channel, or maybe even using this channel to do a Maker Builders channel. You see, my wife and I bought 110 acres up in the Pacific North. And we're going to take some of this equipment with us, a small fraction of what's here. About 90% of it's been sold along with the lease to the building. We sold it off to one of our competitors. It's a much bigger organization, and they were willing to take this equipment off my hands and give me a halfway decent check so I could reseed my life and start over again. So I'll have a couple 3D printers that we move up to the property, a handful of pretty good lasers, pretty good size for creating art and custom parts and pieces. It's going to be interesting how I utilize the equipment and my experience to make a living. I wanted to invite you guys along the way to enjoy the journey with me as I figure out exactly what's next. Now, I've got a lot of hope and a lot of faith that getting back to my body and my mind as designed by God, that I can do what I did nearly 25 years ago when I started this business. And that's work hard, be creative, be grateful, suit up and show up, and just forge ahead. I'm a pretty creative person, and not trying to sound egotistical, but I'm also pretty talented. Most of the machinery and the equipment you're seeing around me, I'm very well versed in. I know how to make a lot of things. I know how a lot of operating systems work. I know a lot about materials. So I feel that God's blessed me with enough talent that, provided I keep the estrogen from affecting my brain and I allow my testosterone to let me be a man again, God's given me all I need to be successful. And I want to invite you guys along the journey and to keep following along here on this channel as I discuss more of the detransition, my early childhood, my early life, what may have contributed to that. I just kind of want to figure out what in the hell happened with me, and how did I go from a man who built all this to living with estrogen and cross-hormone therapy in my system for nearly 20 years. And what was it like on those moments where I was just living as a woman? I can tell you that when I was living as a woman, I didn't work out here very much for a number of reasons. I felt that I had to abandon all these interests to enable to embrace my femininity. But there was something so soulful and spiritual about building and crafting and fabricating that I didn't realize the cost of getting away from those things. And I didn't realize that suppressing my testosterone would cause me to lose interest and ambition to pursue these skills. So I've got to get the rust out of my joints. I've got to free up my mind. I've got to get the years of cross-hormone therapy and living effeminately in thought and in practice. I've got to get that behind me and really embrace my natural talents and my manliness, my male traits, to dig in, get my hands dirty again. And I've been doing that this past weekend. Right now I'm working on building some pretty cool furniture for a restaurant as one of my last jobs. And instead of having the guys work on it, I've come out here, I've taken off the lipstick and the makeup, and I've put on the guy clothes, and I'm just out here working as a man amongst men, finally. And thank God I work in Hollywood, where that sort of weirdness is sort of glossed over. In Hollywood, the nice thing about it and the bad thing about it is you could pretty much let your freak flag fly. So this is about 8 weeks away from closing, and I'm doing a really fun metal project, and that's a good thing because metal art is one of my huge interests. I like to integrate metal, water, fire, creating fire features, water features, and sort of visual effects, for environments. And I think that's going to be a little bit of what I dig into. I also have a huge interest in automotive. And on the side, I actually have a Sprinter van brand that I developed during the pandemic. And we built a couple prototypes. And that's another possible option of where we go from here. But for now, I just want to create. There's something about like fabricating and welding. And I have this theory that in welding, you go into darkness and you use the power of the light, which is the welding torch, to fuse and bond things together. In a way, you're solidifying an idea and you're building something structural with purpose, but you've got to trust the light while working in darkness. And that to me is a bit of a spiritual message. Now, I don't want to sound kind of hokey, but I am spiritual by nature. And I disrupted that nature with the cross-hormone therapy, and I wasn't able to access that spiritual side of me. And now more than ever, I feel that it's erupting, it's bursting out of me. So, I wanted to show you the shop and the business before we close it down. It was a long journey to get here. I started out in a small trailer with a 400 square foot office, grew to about a 2,500 square foot shop. Then we went to 5,000 square feet. Then we created this place, the beast that almost destroyed me. I stopped fabricating. I embraced crazy concepts. I got obsessed with my gender, and I started working here in the office. And all these film projects that I used to be a part of became a part of my distant past, and I became confused with who I was. So it's time to close the doors on this business. You know, take the memories with me, take the relationships with me. Wish my work family well. They're going to be fine. They're going to keep working in the industry and practicing their craft and putting it to task and making a living. And me and my wife are starting our life over in the Pacific North, getting close to God, living amongst nature, and starting a brand new venture. I'll keep doing the trans vlog here for as long as I feel that it has any value, both to you and to me. And I hope to catch you guys on my next video. But as we say in Hollywood, that's a wrap for this business. And thanks for being a part of my YouTube channel. I look forward to what comes next. Thanks, everybody. And it's a pleasure to meet you as the man I am. See you next video. Bye.